Do you have any objections to us looking at everything in your phone?
In a way, she's almost a younger, more vibrant version of Shanann.
As soon as he met Nicole Kessinger, Chris wanted out.
She knew that he would always choose her.
That tells you everything you need to know about Chris Watts, is that he didn't know what it felt like to love someone.
Like, this is my flesh and blood. This is like what I wanted all my life. My name is Chris Watts. I'm doing my speech on relationship deterioration and repair.
Nicole Kessinger is one of Chris Watts' co-workers in Weld County. When she first meets Chris, she's under the impression that he's just a young bachelor who's looking for love.
Good guys are difficult to find, especially when you're in your 30s and you're not married yet. And here he was right here in her office.
Sometimes when you get married, that the lust and the desire kind of falls by the wayside a little bit. You no longer experience closeness, and you feel you might do better with someone else that you've met.
Chris ends up telling her, you know, I am married right now, and I do have 2 young daughters at home.
I think Nicole Kessinger saw in Chris exactly what the world saw in Chris. He was an all-around nice guy, or that was the mask that he portrayed.
All of Chris's friends described him as a laid-back person, but very self-contained. Nobody felt like they really knew him.
So pink means...
That's just the test.
I know. It just says the pink is going to be girls.
I don't know.
To Chris Watts, Nicole Kessinger was a breath of fresh air. She was not Shanann. She wasn't the wife. She wasn't the mother. She had nothing tying her down. She was different.
He was sort of in these routines with Shanann and the girls that had become, monotonous. Nikki Kessinger was listening to him and respecting him in a way that he had never felt before. I think at that point, it was an easy decision for him to start an affair.
They're texting almost nonstop, even though he's at home with his wife and his children. Shanann has no clue what's going on behind her back. Shanann goes away thinking that this is a way to reset the relationship, not knowing that it was actually igniting and fueling the relationship that Chris has with Nicole.
A perfect storm of factors that the affair began when Shanann and the girls left for the summer for 6 weeks.
Chris is taking Nicole out on dates. This is his opportunity to fully date without any eyes watching him.
Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts had a dating life that was probably something like, 20-somethings would do.
You're so damn sexy.
Yeah, intoxication of affair is a very, very powerful drug. Sex is a powerful drug.
Chris is taking illicit photos of Nicole and saving them to his phone in a secret app.
He was able to do all these things that he wasn't able to do because he had children and he had a family and he had responsibilities.
Daddy, Daddy, I love you.
And he's willing to do whatever it takes to continue to explore this relationship.
Everything was sunshine and roses, and I can't wait to see you again, and I'm addicted to you, and everything a young suitor would say to a woman when he first starts dating her.
In the height of his passion for Nikki, he Googled, what does it feel like when someone says, I love you? And I think that tells you everything you need to know about Chris Watts and his attachments, is that he didn't know what it felt like to love someone.
Shanann is in North Carolina with Bella and Cece. Multiple times she's trying to reach Chris. She's calling, she's texting him, and many of the times he's not responding at all or as quickly as he normally would. That's when Shanann starts to realize something's off here. There's something else going on. Chris shows up and he's pretty distant to Shanann.
North Carolina, Chris was on his phone a lot.
Shanann was starting to question why he was being so distant.
Who are you texting? Because it was a big, huge red flag.
She's texting her friends saying he's not only being weird when he was at home, but now Chris isn't even being physically close to me, even though we've been apart for so long.
Support each other, positive evaluations, positive feelings. Always disclose your feelings, as I said.
It's time to return to regular life. Shanann set up a gender reveal party where friends, family, neighbors were to come and find out that they were going to be having this baby boy. But she's starting to realize something's going wrong here. This is supposed to be an incredibly happy time for both of them.
He changed his mind about the baby as all of a sudden he sort of had this new interest. His mind was with another woman.
She's suspecting that maybe he's cheating on her.
You have to ask yourself 3 questions when you're in a relationship. Do I have a desire to keep this relationship going? Do I have a moral obligation to stay in this relationship? Or is it a necessity for me to stay in this relationship?
Shortly after Shanann cancels the gender reveal party, she goes on a business trip to Arizona. They go out to a restaurant. Chris wines and dines Nicole, but then realizes he doesn't have any way to pay for the meal other than with the credit card he shares with Shanann.
Shanann receives a notification about a credit card that Chris had used at the Lazy Dog restaurant that exceeded the amount of money that a normal person would use on his own meal.
And she's thinking there's no way that one person ate and drank $60 worth of food. That was the first moment Shanann felt like she had proof something else was going on.
Shanann knew the marriage was in trouble. She sent Chris a self-help book. She wanted to go to counseling. Whereas Chris's solution for dealing with the problem was to plot murder.
Relationships are hard, but they're worth it in the end. And as the Swedish proverb says, a double joy is a shared joy, and a double sorrow is not a shared sorrow. Thank you.
It's early in the morning when her friend Nicole Atkinson drops her off at her home. Nicole Atkinson was under the impression that she was taking Shanann home to a place that should be a place of comfort, a place of security. There's no way she could have known that she was actually dropping her off to her final moments on Earth.
Calling because I'm concerned about a friend of mine.
Nicole will have an officer come out that way as soon as we can.
They're looking around, they go upstairs. There's no sign of Shanann or the girls.
I believe he thought that we would believe him.
You're afraid people think you may have